Hey everybody, Eileen here for readingandwritingtips.com. In this video, learn how to write haiku poetry like you've been writing it for years. Haiku poetry has been around for centuries. It started in Japan, and it's a beautiful version of poetry that is generally written in 3 lines, and it has 5 syllables, 7 syllables, and 5 syllables in each of those 3 lines. So one thing I didn't know about haiku poetry, however, is that it doesn't have to be just one stanza. So we'll take a look at how you can write haiku poetry, the mechanics of it, some examples, and then I want to see your work. So like I said, a typical English language haiku poem will have 3 lines in each stanza, and the first line will have 5 syllables, the second line will have 7 syllables, and the third line will have 5 syllables again. Usually haiku poetry is themed around nature and has a simple theme. There will usually be 2 main themes that are put in opposition to each other, and I'm going to give you some examples in just a minute, but what you want to remember is that this is a very clean and simple form of poetry, and so you don't want to try to make it too complex. Even though it can be more than one stanza, you don't want to make it 20 pages long. The whole point of a haiku is that it's simple and short and gives you food for thought, is really what they're for. So as I said before, haiku started in Japan hundreds and hundreds of years ago, and there are many, many famous poets who are renowned for their skills at the haiku poetry form. 3 of those very famous poets are named Matsuo Bashō, Masaoka Shiki, and Kobayashi Issa. So those are 3 names that if you study haiku at all, you will see them over and over again, and they are really known as the fathers of haiku in different forms. Bashō is known by many haiku connoisseurs to be a favorite among pretty much everyone who reads his work. He was known as a master of the clear and simple form of haiku and is often thought of as one of the fathers of haiku as well. Shiki was known for being very strict about following the traditional rules of haiku poetry. So he really followed the syllable and line rule and the themes of nature and contradictory items. He followed those very, very closely and was known for never straying from those traditional rules. Now, Issa was actually a pen name that meant cup of tea. So going along with the simple and beautiful theme of haiku, how perfect is that to have the name cup of tea writing your haiku. But Issa was also a Buddhist priest. There are tons of websites out there, if you do a Google search for haiku poetry, that can give you tons of examples and resources and guidelines. There's a link in the description below and also on the resources page at readingandwritingtips.com for a great website that actually gives you a free booklet you can download about haiku, and it gives you some examples and some background information. So it's a really great resource and you should check that out. But I'm going to give you some examples of haiku poetry here. The first one is written by Issa, and it goes like this. Winter seclusion, listening that evening to the rain in the mountain. So you can hear the themes of winter and the rain and also being at peace and up on the mountain. So those nature themes throughout are definitely true here. And remember, Issa was very much known for following the traditional rules, so he does have the 5-7-5 syllables there in those 3 lines. This next piece is one of the most famous haiku poems you will ever see. If you Google haiku poetry, almost every website I visited in my research had this haiku poem on it, and it's by Bashō. An old silent pond. A frog jumps into the pond. Splash. Silence again. So you have the nature themes. Again, this one does not follow the traditional syllable rule, so if you look at that, it's not the traditional syllables. But remember, some of these are translated from Japanese writing, and so when they're in the translation, they may alter the syllable count as well. This third one is by Shiki. Toward those short trees, we saw a hawk descending on a day in spring. So just those 3 lines there, again, with the nature themes. He's also got seasonal, so he mentioned spring. So seasonal is also a big theme that you'll see in haiku. But those 3 lines just give you this sense of peace, this peaceful spring day where you see a hawk flying over the trees, and you can picture it and you can almost smell the air that day. And it's just so powerful how those 3 lines can bring all of that imagery into your mind. It's really amazing. So remember I mentioned before that haiku doesn't typically have to be just 1 stanza. In the traditional Japanese version of haiku, you will see 1 stanza. In the English language versions of haiku, you will see multiple stanzas. So I took a stab at writing a 4-stanza haiku poem, and it's called Solitary Day. The wind blows softly, ruffling the water's blue, and I sit alone, watching a lone bird fly in circles around the banks of the lake. Tilting with the flow, his red belly flashes, turns away from me. I close my eyes and relish the silence that washes over me. So that's my try. Look at the description below and you'll see posts, you'll see links rather to readingandwritingtips.com. There's lots of haiku and other writing resources on the resources page. There's also a full-length article on all of the information I've covered in this video. If you give haiku a try, post your writing in the comments below or send me an email. I'd love to see it. So from now until next time, happy writing.